Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, everybody. Hope you're doing well and keeping fit, keeping safe. All right. Today's topic will be a little bit about transport, as it was recommended by one of your teachers. And look, to be honest, I actually have a degree in transport logistics and supply chain management, and that was actually one of the first jobs that I ever did when I was growing up. Actually, after finishing high school, I took a gap year to work and to sort out what I wanted to do with my life, and I actually ended up working in a freight forwarding company. So basically, there was air freight and sea freight for all import and export in and out of Australia. So yeah, that was quite interesting, and I thought it would be a very good industry to get into. And basically, yeah, that's I learned a lot from that experience. But nevertheless, today's topic will be about transport and just basic things around to do with transport. Okay, so I'm sure you guys already know all the different types of transport there are available these days. Okay, like taxis, cars, bikes, buses, planes, trains, automobiles, another word for cars. You name it, hoverboards, whatever, right? So I don't want to get into too much too basic into this topic, but I want to sort of talk about a few things that we should know when we're talking about traffic. Okay, so first of all, sorry, I forgot to put my mic on, but I hope you can hear me. It should be okay. So, yeah, I guess the first thing we should start with is compound nouns. Okay, things like when you put two nouns together, they are what we call compound nouns, and they're commonly used to describe places. Okay, or certain things. For example, subway station. Okay, so there are two nouns, but when you put them together, you know that obviously that means train station. Okay, traffic jam. Obviously that means macet, or lots of traffic on the road. Okay, what else? Bus lane. Okay, I'm sure you know what they are. By the way, talking about bus lanes, in Australia, we have bus lanes as well, but we buses can obviously use them, but other forms of transport are also allowed to use them to save traffic jams. Okay, so basically buses can use bus lanes, but also taxis, motorbikes, minibuses, and hired cars. Okay, so they are all allowed to use bus lanes legally, and I wish they'd do that here too in Indonesia, because that would save so much traffic and a lot of headaches. If you think about it. Okay, yes, bus lanes are for buses, I understand, but what's wrong with putting a few motorbikes in there? Motorbikes are a lot faster than buses, so when the light turns green, I'm sure the motorbikes can get away from the buses a lot quicker. And it's not really going to disturb much of the flow on the bus lane for other buses. So, yeah, I really hope Indonesia would follow suit and put in these, flexibilities in using bus lanes. Anyways, what else? Okay, how's this? Why don't I want you to write this down, all right? Two rows, row A and row B, and I'm going to give you some words on some nouns on the left hand side, and I want you to see if you can match it with the words on the right. Okay, let's try this out. So the first column A, I want you to write these words: bicycle, bus, news, parking, street, subway, taxi, traffic, and train. And on column B, I want you to write garage, jam, lane, light, space, stand, station, stop, and system. Alright, so to start with, see if you can work out those compound nouns and see if you can put them together, okay? So just put a line between them. I've already given you some examples in the beginning of this video, so let's see if you can finish that off. Alright, the next point we're going to talk about is adverbs of quantity, okay? Now, I'm sure you guys have all studied countable and uncountable or non-countable nouns. That's great if you have and if you still remember how to use them, because in this particular video I want to talk about adverbs of quantity with count nouns and with non-count nouns. Okay, so basically very similar to countable and non-countable nouns. With count nouns, which are obviously countable nouns, you can also add, instead of many cars, you can say too many cars, okay? For example, there are too many cars in the streets in Jakarta. Or there should be fewer cars, okay? The negative of too many, you could say. We need more subway lines, alright? Obviously that means we need more train lines or train stations. And there aren't enough buses. Okay, what does that mean? Obviously it means there are not enough buses. And so we put are not enough to describe those countable nouns with countable nouns. Next is with non-count nouns, we can say there is too much traffic. Alright, obviously meaning there is a lot of traffic. There should be less pollution. Okay, less pollution, because you can't count pollution or traffic. We need more public transportation. Okay, so obviously because we can't count them, we just say more. And for the last example, we can say there isn't enough parking. Obviously means there's not enough parking. Alright, so they are some adverbs of quantity you should keep in mind. I'm going to read you some sentences now, and I want you to see if you can fill in the blanks, okay? Here we go. Complete these statements with transportation problems. And then you can compare it with your friend or partner. And by the way, more than one answer is possible. Question 1. There are blank police officers. I'll do that one together with you. You could say there are enough police officers. There aren't enough police officers. Or there is maybe too much police officers, okay? Depending on what you want to say. Remember, one answer there is possible. More than one answer is possible. Okay. Just bear with me a second. It's starting to rain. As you can hear. What I might do is put on the headphones. Hang on a sec. Okay, this will save a bit of noise problems. Alright guys, just bear with me. Okay, here we go. Great. So, I hope that's a little bit better for you. Especially with all the background noise happening right now with the rain. Okay, I might just pull this up one button. Alright, so sorry about that guys. Okay, so you're ready to practice these adverbs of quantity. Alright, so the first one is, I was saying before about police officers. The second one, there should be blank cars in the city. Okay, there should be blank cars in the city. What adverb of quantity do you think we should use there? There should be some blank cars in the city. There should be maybe less cars in the city. Yeah, I don't think you want to say there should be more cars in the city. Obviously, there are already too many cars in the city. So I think the best answer there would be less cars. Okay. Number 3, there is blank public transportation. Okay, so there is what? Enough public transportation. There isn't enough public transportation. Depending on how you think, but basically they should be the answers. I'll give you the rest of the 5 questions here, and I want to see if you can do it by yourself. Number 4 is the government needs to blank highways. Again, the government needs to blank highways. Oh, sorry. The government needs to build blank highways. I forgot the build there. So that question 4 is the government should build blank highways. Number 5, there should be blank noise. Number 5, there should be blank noise. Number 6, we should have blank public parking garages. Okay, so number 6, we should have blank or space public parking garages. Number 7, there is blank air pollution in the city. There is blank air pollution in the city. And number 8, the last one, there are blank cars parked on the streets. Number 8, there are blank cars parked on the streets. Okay. So, yeah, there's a first round of practice for adverbs of quantity. Now I want you to, for part B of this exercise, I want you to finish these sentences, alright guys? See if you can do this. Number 1, the city should have more blah blah blah. You finish the sentence. Number 2, we have too many, finish the sentence. And this should be obviously about your city or a town that you know about. Number 3, there's too much something. Number 4, there isn't enough something. Number 5, there should be fewer something. 6, we don't have enough something. 7, there should be less something. And 8, we need more something. Excuse me. I just swallowed a bit of dust. Okay, no problem. So, practice your adverbs of quantity, guys, using those examples, and see if you can fill in the blanks and finish the sentence, okay? Please rewind and, do whatever you need to do to get those questions. But here are some examples of some sentences which uses adverbs of quantity. Okay, so here we go. I think there are too many cars on the road. All the cars, taxis and buses make it really dangerous for bicycles. There is too much traffic. Okay, another example. What about the buses? They are old, slow and cause too much pollution. I think there should be less pollution in the city. Okay. Did you pick up the adverbs of quantity? I'll give you one more example. There should be fewer cars, but I think that the biggest problem is parking. There isn't enough parking. Okay, so practice that, guys. We do use them a lot, actually. Not just to talk about transport, but pretty much anything, okay, when it comes to quantity. All right. Moving on. Um, here is another exercise which you could do if you would like to do more practice with these. I want you to finish off this letter, okay? This letter is to a newspaper editor about transport or traffic problems in the city. So use those statements from the first exercise we did with the adverbs of quantity, and any new ideas to write your letter to the local newspaper, okay? Or maybe to the Department of Transport, complaining about some of the problems that you have here in Jakarta. All right, so for example, to whom it may concern, there's too much traffic in the city, and it's getting worse. A few years ago, it took me 10 minutes to get downtown. Now it takes more than 30 minutes during the rush hour. Here are my suggestions to solve some of our traffic problems. First of all, there should be more subway lines. I think people want to use public transport, but we need more blah blah blah, okay? Finish this letter for your practice, for homework as well. And try to, I suppose, use Jakarta as your example. I mean, we have lots of problems here in Jakarta. And there have also been some solutions, yeah, like the MRT or LRT, bus lanes and what have you. So, yeah, see if you can finish that letter off for more practice. All right, and for the last bit, I want you guys to practice answering these questions, okay? Obviously, when we're asking questions, indirect questions, by the way, here's a little bit of grammar. If you're asking indirect questions from WH questions, we can use a few different ways. There are a few different ways to do that. So the first WH questions we can ask is with be, okay? The verb be, like is or are, for example. So for example, where is the bank? Or where are the restrooms? Okay? The next WH questions we can use is with do or did. For example, how often do the buses leave? Or what time does the bank open? Or when did flight 566 arrive? Okay? You notice how we use do or did with those questions. With indirect questions, you can ask these basic questions, okay? Probably to strangers that you meet along the way. So for example, could you tell me where the bank is? Or do you know where the restrooms are? Or can you tell me how often the buses leave? Yeah. Or do you know what time the bank opens? Or do you know when flight 566 arrived? Okay. They are some indirect questions, obviously slightly different to those direct questions. So, talking about questions, can you answer these questions, guys? How much do cabs cost in your city? Or how much do cabs cost? To ride, obviously, not to buy. Where can I get a map of your city? Where can I rent a cell phone? Where can I walk my dog? Which hotel is closest to the airport? Where is the best place to meet friends? What's an inexpensive way to sightsee? Okay, sightsee or sightseeing is obviously seeing the sights, or seeing what's in your town or in your area. Okay, it could be beaches, it could be buildings, it could be anything. Where should I go shopping? What are some interesting stores? And what museums should I see? All right, so there's a bit of practice for you guys. some speaking practice, some writing practice, and some grammar practice. Please do your best to finish those. And you know, if you like, you can email me to check your answers, or hopefully just save them for our next class. Hopefully we will be going back to school in the next couple of months, okay? Maybe 1 or 2 months. Because actually in Perth, my son, he's in primary school and he's going back to school next week. So, you know, in Australia, it seems like they're getting a hold or getting control of this virus, which is a good sign. And I hope it happens here as well, okay? So, yeah, have a bit of a practice with that, and we'll talk about it some more in our next class. All right, guys? Until then, take care, stay strong, and yeah, be good. Take care, guys. Bye.